I would like to thank everyone that has been so caring these last few weeks and for all those that helped to put this program together. It is fitting and honorable to have this service here in the Charlestown Navy Yard with the backdrop of the Commandant's house on the Commandant's lawn, a place that Bill cared for and cared about. A special recognition to Bill's team and the park staff that organized this program. And I also want to express our extreme gratitude to Commander Benda and his crew representing the United States Navy Constitution Command. You are true friends and colleagues. We will start the program with the presentation of the colors. If everyone could please stand. If you could all join. Sorry.
Right, face. Color detail. Forward, march.
Thank you, Constitution Command. You may be seated. Charlene and members of Bill's family, and especially Bill's mother, Barbara, who is with us in her thoughts and prayers from Worcester. We all want you to know how very, very sad we are at the loss of Bill. His colleagues from the National Park Service here in Boston, as well as in Lowell, and friends that have joined us virtually from all over, are here to share their sorrow and celebrate his life. Charlene, you have nurtured Bill for some 20 years. With Bill's sudden illness, we have witnessed your love and care as Bill was suddenly taken to the hospital. In these COVID times, it has been incredibly difficult to do normal things that family and friends just do for loved ones in a hospital. The pandemic denied us from visiting the hospital, from holding Bill's hand, to providing that reassurance and touch to him to let us know that we're there for him. All these normal things were denied to us. Charlene, we are grateful to you for being our proxy, for providing Bill with the encouragement through the glass window in the hospital room. You told me about the messages you would give to the doctors and to the nurses as they passed by you on the way to Bill's room. You would tell them, make sure you tell Bill that I'm out here. Make sure to tell Bill to remain strong. Thank you for being there for all of us. In this time of sadness and untethered emotions, we should be drawn to the wisdom and insight of Washington Irving. He said that there is sacredness in tears. They are not the marks of weakness, but of power. They speak more eloquently than thousands of tongues. They are messengers of overwhelming grief and unspeakable love. A force was born in 1951. A force to do good, and a force to help others. Bill and his brother Gary grew up in the gritty mill city of Worcester, Massachusetts. And at the age of 19, Bill was drafted into the United States Army and headed to Vietnam as part of the 385th Military Police Company, stationed out of Saigon. Later, Bill and his unit were transferred to Germany for the remainder of the war. He returned from the war and found that his job at Commonwealth Gas was no longer available to him. Well, no, Bill has a tendency for persistence. Bill's persistence eventually allowed him to return to the gas company, and he was the first African American they ever hired. He worked there for 10 years. He married and had 3 daughters, Monique, Nichole, and Mercedes, and eventually became a grandfather to 6 children. Bill had quite a career, holding positions as a financial manager and then president and owner of a maintenance and janitorial service company. All these positions provided him with incredible skill sets that the National Park Service desperately needed when he took on leadership roles in Lowell and more recently Boston. On May 18th, 2021, we lost a good man, a kind man, and a capable leader. Bill's loss has left a deep hole in the heart of the National Park Service. In particular, Bill's incredible custodial team is feeling this loss with a heavy heart. Bill knew well the life lessons written by Maya Angelou. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. It is hard to imagine the park without Bill's big smile and that hearty laugh. May you rest in comfort and peace forevermore, Bill. Thank you. We've had a lot of support for Bill, for Bill's family, for our staff, for the National Park Service over these last several months. It's been a very challenging time over the last year. But we have had incredible support from our regional office and our Washington office. And when we talk about the National Park Service family, it makes me feel really good. Sometimes during these times you kind of go to the negative. But when I get calls from Celeste Bernardo, who's our Deputy Regional Director, and our Regional Director, Gavitsky, and even the Director of the National Park Service, Sean Binge, all in the same day when they had heard that Bill was taken to the hospital, it made me feel good inside. It made me feel part of the National Park Service family. And as part of that family, I want to introduce Celeste Bernardo, a good friend, a great supporter through these times. And I would like for Celeste to say a few words on behalf of the Regional Directorate. Celeste?
Thank you, Michael. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Charlene and your family. On behalf of Gavitsky, the Regional Director, and Interior Region 1, I just want to express our condolences and say how very sorry we are to all of you and to all of you here at the National Parks of Boston. You know, Michael mentioned the word family. National Park Service family is a phrase we use a lot, but it's not really until a moment like this when you really recognize what that means. Because it's incredible how people come together to support each other and help each other. And I just want to say thank you to all of you on behalf of the region of what an incredible job you've all done working together through this. I also want to just say a few words as the superintendent at Lowell National Historical Park, where Bill started. He actually started the same year that I started there in Lowell in 2012. And, you know, he's got a very special crew, a custodial crew up there in Lowell. And he had just the right touch and personality with that crew. The kindness and yet outlining this is what needs to happen. I think Bill came to me pretty quickly after he'd gotten there and was like, you know, we don't have the right tools. We don't have the right things for these folks if they're going to be clean, and we need to set them up for success. And that was kind of the way Bill did his business, you know, quietly behind the scenes, working with his crew. I remember him going through his own personal struggles and tragedy with his own daughter who battled cancer courageously. We had a lot of talks about that. I like to think that Bill is reunited now with her and is smiling down on all of us. Bill loved the National Park Service. He loved service, and he loved doing it quietly and humbly and joyfully. And that's, I think, how I will always remember Bill. And I know that he felt really supported by his family here. And Charlene, now you and your family, you're part of our family. So welcome. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Celeste. And I should have mentioned, but Celeste is playing a dual role as not only the Deputy Regional Director of the National Park Service, but also the Superintendent of Lowell National Historical Park. So thank you for being here, Celeste. I want to introduce you to somebody that's been an incredible leader throughout these times, a good friend of Bill's, a good ear to Bill. He's the program director for our facilities and sustainability program. Tim Crotto is a really special person, and I can't think of a better person to lead his team, to lead our staff as we've gone through these really challenging times. Tim, could you say a few words?
Thank you very much for that, Michael. Appreciate it. Charlene and family and Park Service family, I want to thank everyone for their support and for being here today. I'd like to go over some reflections on Bill. From the time I heard about Bill over in Lowell and what he was doing over there, I hoped he would apply for the opening that we had here in Boston. When I met him, I had a great feeling he was the fit we needed, and could only hope that I could steal him. Sorry, Celeste. As it worked out, although it was a bit further for him to travel, he wanted to try on the Charlestown shoe and become one of the National Parks of Boston family over here. I'd like to point out some of the many things that I'll miss about Bill. Bill's laugh, of course, we always talk about it, distinct. You could attend a comedy show, and if you didn't know Bill was there, you would know he was there just by his laugh. Very prominent. Many times I'd be in my office, and I'd start laughing because I'd hear him laughing. And I'm pretty far across the way. And that was a great feeling, and you all know what I'm talking about. Bill was overall quiet, but you knew when he wasn't happy with something. The sharing of experiences with our families and our past were great connections for Bill and I. Our many discussions on ways to improve areas of maintenance in the National Parks of Boston. Bill's stability in our operation, I could always count on Bill. I could count on him for so many things. He was always there. Bill connected with everyone differently, in his own special way. Although Bill dreaded the administrative duties, he marched on through them anyhow. Bill had incredible knowledge of the custodial operation, which I knew right away when I interviewed him and talked with him. I knew he was the guy we needed here. And, you know, the processes he had, we witnessed. We all seen what he could do and what he did with his team. The care Bill took in selecting a new hire for his team to find the right fit. Bill worked with all types of agency programs to help individuals and hire people into the National Parks of Boston. Bill was awarded Distinguished Employer from Massachusetts Rehabilitation Commission. This was one of those agencies. As a matter of fact, that's what the picture is. on the wreath from when he received that award. Our connections to each other are important for us to understand, because we spend so much time together and learn so much about each other in the workplace. We begin to realize, as time goes on, you don't just work together. As Celeste said, you become an extended family. We will forever miss you, Bill, and I will as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Charlene, can we ask you to come and say a few words? Thank you.
Wow. First of all, I'd like to start off by saying thank you to every one of you. This means so much to me for him to be honored this way. To see his family and to meet his park family means so much to me. I had the pleasure of having Bill in my life as my significant other, my love, my buddy, my best friend for 21 years. And he made those years very memorable. I have so many great memories of what we shared together and how we shared our life and our children and combined our families. Bill had 6 grandchildren from his children, but I have 5. And if you let somebody know, if you ask somebody, if someone asked him, how many grandchildren do you have? He'd say 11. First he'd say 10. And then I'd say, babe, you forgot about the baby. He'd be like, oh, how did I forget about her? Because how could he forget about her? He might have been a strong, tough guy, but when it came to that little girl, he was mush. The little girl could walk on the table, the dining room table. He'd give her candy when her mother didn't want her to have candy, but that was just Bill. I believe that Bill is looking down today and is really, really honored, just like I'm honored for what you're doing for him today. He had a special personality, as everyone can tell, and he had a way of getting his point across. Most times, he tried to tell you something. Then the swears would start flying. Then you knew he was mad. He was stubborn, but he was so kind. He was a no-nonsense kind of guy, but always willing to help anyone that he could. He was a hard worker, and he took pride in all of the work that he did, especially the Commandant's house. He really spoke of that a lot. And when he was in Lowell, he had projects that he did, and he'd come home, babe, look at this, I did these floors. It's a reflection. You can see your reflection in the floors. So he took pride in his work. And anyone who worked for Bill knew that he took pride in his work. He would always say, if you're gonna do something, make sure you do it right. And oftentimes, I'd have to remind him. We'd be cleaning the house and I'd miss something and he'd say, you know, you need to do this, this, and this. And I'd look at him and I'd say, you know, I'm not one of your workers. And he'd look at me and laugh and say, yes, you are. So, in closing, what I want to say about Bill, about honoring Bill, if anyone wants to honor him, please, please be kind to people, because that was Bill. Take pride in what you do for your work, because that was Bill. And don't forget his laugh. Everyone, my friends, his friends that met Bill, loved his laugh. I know there wasn't a public funeral that his family put on, but I do want to extend to everyone on June 5th at 11 a.m. there is a mass in Worcester for Bill at St. Peter's Church. And anyone that's interested in going, they're all welcomed. In fact, I would hope that any of you would come and pay your last respects. The mass won't be long because Bill wasn't the type of person that wanted things to hang on and go on and on and on. But we're gonna have a meal afterwards, which is what Bill would have liked. And every one of you, each and every one of you are invited. But on behalf of Mrs. Spence, who wishes she could be here and told me, make sure you take pictures, make sure you take pictures, I want to say thank you all for supporting him and supporting me, because you all have been so supportive, and I really do appreciate you all. Thank you.
It's so wonderful to hear the real Bill stories, Charlene. I think we sugarcoat it a little bit, maybe. All right. Boy, oh boy. That was wonderful. Thank you. We have a couple of people that would like to speak in terms of reflections of Bill, and I'm going to ask Bob Wilbur to come first and read something from our park curator David Vecchioli that he asked to read on behalf of himself, who couldn't be here today. Bob?
All right, thanks, Michael. Charlene, those are some great memories of Bill. I'm Bob Wilbur. I'm the Deputy Superintendent here at the National Parks of Boston. And unfortunately, I've only been here for about 2 years now, so I don't have a long relationship with Bill. But yeah, just thinking about Bill's presence here and the influence he had was really tremendous. So David Vecchioli, our park museum curator, as Michael indicated, couldn't be here today. But I'd like to read a tribute that David shared with Michael, Tim, and myself a couple days ago. Bill's passing caused me to reflect on the close working relationship that often exists between park, curatorial, and facility programs. In the case of the National Parks of Boston, Bill exemplified that relationship at its finest. Bill provided help when needed over the years that I worked with him, and that has meant staffing support, coordinating services, maneuvering collection storage equipment, and yes, sidebar conversations about hiring hurdles. I admired Bill as a colleague and a fellow supervisor on staff who just had a calm and gentle way about him, and I will miss him greatly. I wish I could be with you, but I am keeping you all in my thoughts just the same. And I think David really speaks for us all today. We'll all miss Bill greatly, his calming influence and his gentle way. So rest in peace, Bill. Godspeed. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Bob, and thank you, David. We have, I guess in the spirit of virtual pandemic nature, we have somebody on the telephone that's gonna say a few words, and I hope you're gonna be able to hear this. Tim will introduce Jake. Yeah.
This is Jason Reinflesch. Jake, Bill and Jake share an office together. They have for quite some time. So Jake wants to address his feelings by his own words. Go ahead, Jake, give it a shot.
All right, can you hear me okay?
Go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. I really don't know how to begin with all this. Like Tim mentioned, I shared a small office with Bill for many years. I come from a small town in Idaho, and I don't know a lot of people from Massachusetts. I really don't have many close friends here, but was able to get to know Bill quite well over the years. Bill and I were placed in an office with 2 desks placed back to back. Many of our conversations were over the top of our desk cabinets. Through these conversations, we shared many stories about family and about life. I learned from him and shared a lot with him too. I talked about Bill with my wife, and I tried to put a name to what he meant to me. I mentioned that he was like a big older brother or a favorite uncle. My wife made it clear from how I spoke about him that we were friends. Behind closed doors, Bill and I learned a lot about each other. I heard about his fishing adventures, his affinity for cooking, and exploits from his time when he served our country in the military. Daily, we talked to each other about our lives. I got to know his family through these stories and the photos displayed on his desk and the ones on his phone. We shared stories that were only for us and didn't leave the confines of our office. I'll keep those life memories close and remember our conversations fondly. Over the years, Tim asked us many times if we wanted to move into an office of our own from our tiny workplace. And every time we both looked at each other smiling and said we were fine how we were. We respected each other and understood each other. We looked out for each other and helped each other when we could. That little office with so many memories will not be easy to go back to. Bill was one of the good ones, and it is unfair that his life was cut short. I know life is unpredictable, but this sucks. It really sucks. I'm sad. I'll miss his sense of humor, his kindness, and his infectious laugh. I'll miss my friend. I know Bill will be missed by all, but not forgotten by anyone who knew him. Thank you.
Thank you, Jake.
Thank you, Jake. I just wanted to take a moment. If anybody would like to have any reflections about Bill, you're more than welcome to come and share them with us.
Hello, everybody. I know you all know me. When I first came to the parks, Bill interviewed me, and as soon as I heard his voice on the phone, I knew he was the man that I wanted to work for. I don't know why, but I could feel it in my heart that he was the one. That I had other offers in the park all over the United States, but I chose Boston because he chose me. Bill became not just the best boss I've ever had, and I've had a lot of them, he also became one of my very best friends. We cried together, we've laughed together, we've screamed at each other, and that's what friends do. Charlene asked me to reflect on a few things about Mr. Bill. One of them, of course, is what everybody has mentioned, his laugh. You just laugh when he would laugh. And the other part of it was when I first came here, my colleagues informed me they had a meeting with all of them before I got here, saying that he had hired a woman, and when I got here, they would all have to watch their language, saying he was the worst offender. Now, you all know me, and you know I have quite the colorful language, as I'll put it. So, being here for 2 weeks, working with men, that I've worked with men most of my life, and nobody saying one swear word, I finally broke let a few profanities slip out of my mouth and asked what the heck was going on, and not that kind of way, but actually very colorful way, as what was wrong with all these men, and did any of them actually swear? And he looked at him and goes, "Oh, thank God you swear." And as you all know, yes, I do. Okay, I'm sure you've all heard me at one time or another. But Mr. Bill made everybody feel welcome. He did a lot for everybody. He gave everybody a chance in every way. And I've told him from the very beginning, when I got here, he saved me, and he did. So with that, I want you all to know how much I will miss him. I loved him dearly. And I'm finally glad to meet his family that I already know so much about, because he told us all about all of you. And thank everybody. And I think Tommy is coming up next.
Good morning. I'm Tom Johnson. I'm not in uniform because this is my off day, but I wouldn't miss this for the world. A little bit over 3 years ago, I put in for a job at MPS Boston. I was told by Bill to come one day, but then my girlfriend said, maybe you should delay it. So I asked Bill for a delay. And he said, okay, you can come. I thought it was going to be in a week. It turned out it was the next day. I came that day for my interview. I called Bill. He says, what are you doing here? I go, I have an interview. He says, no, that was yesterday. You sure? I look at my phone, I had a text. It said it was today, so I showed him. I go to the interview. He says, oh, these computers, I hate them. Now I gotta write HR and tell them I made a mistake and that you came here. Needless to make a long story short, I was one of the hand-picked people by Bill to build a family. We aren't just a cleaning team, we're a family. We all work together, we all help each other. I'm up here today to speak because I know the team needs to know Bill loved us. He said we were the best team he's ever had, and he wouldn't have it no other way. Bill was like an older brother to me, both being black men, both going through what life throws at us. He gave me great advice. I did a lot of different things, and I've seen that raft that y'all all like to talk about. Bill, if you made a mistake, he wasn't necessarily, as you said, Charlene, nice about it when he told you you made a mistake. He told you made a mistake, you know. But when he corrected you, he didn't always correct you in the normal way. As one time, I had done some things and he wanted to correct me. He told me to go over to this building right to our right over here. He wanted me to clean the back of it. I go, Bill, but there's no water. Well, take the water over there, he says. And so when he corrected you, you knew it was done out of love. Bill has a big heart. He loved everybody. He could correct you, and you knew when he corrected you, he was doing it to make you a better person. We'll all miss him. I miss him a lot. His laugh, we all hear all the time. I hear it every day, and sometimes I try to imitate it, and I'll tell myself, ah! Ah! Thank you.
Boy, oh boy. I think it's all coming out now. Gail, thank you. Tommy, thank you. Does anybody else have anything that they would like to reflect upon from Bill? We'll give it a couple of minutes. Rob.
Good morning, folks. Thank you all for coming today. I really appreciate it all. I'm very grateful to be able to get a moment to tell everybody how much Bill meant to me. when I came here 3 years ago, oh, by the way, mine's Rob Urshik. I'm the other supervisor of the three that worked with Bill. And Bill spent some time correcting me, so it's not just his guys. So everybody got it if they earned it. But when I came here, I've been here 3 years now, and Bill's been my best friend. I don't have a whole lot of friends here in Boston, although I came from the Everglades before I was here. So I enjoy all that this place offers and all the opportunities that are here. It's just unbelievable compared to what I've been before, and I'm just grateful to be part of it for now. But I knew Bill only 3 years, and in those 3 years, he really made a difference in my life. Tim spent a lot of time teaching me the basics and getting the paperwork up and keeping up on it, but Bill was my mentor, and he really taught me street smarts. Him and I would talk all the time, come in the office, and he would say things, and I would say, wow, I never even dawned on me that, and that's smart. So we got along very, very well. We were just the best buddies all the time, and sadly, Bill got COVID the same day I did in the shop, and I spent 5 days in the ICU and was able to recover with a good VA team. And I'm really, really, really upset that Bill didn't recover as well, because I miss his laugh, I miss his integrity. He was 100% for the park, and that really made me feel good. He and I worked very close throughout the whole COVID time, and it's a shame that Bill is gone. And so, in his memory, I last year grabbed some fruit nuts from these trees that are back here. This one here in front is a walnut tree, and the one in the corner is a what the heck is it, the other one? Chestnut, correct, thank you. So what I did is I was able to gather a few nuts when they were cleaning them up last year, and I watched a whole lot of YouTube videos and figured out how to propagate them and winterize them. And I was able to get a few trees to grow from those nuts from that tree. So this is a chestnut tree in the memory of Bill. And Charlene, I want to give that to you to plant on your property or anywhere you choose. It is actually a stepchild of the one that's back there in the corner closer to the building. So it'll grow 6 feet this year. It's only been growing for a few weeks and stuff, so it's getting big already. But I'm very grateful to go ahead and honor Bill with this tree. And I have another one I'm going to plant at my house. And I'm also going to put Bill's name on that tree, and that's going to be in honor of Bill. So I'm very grateful to be here today, and thank you for allowing me to talk. So this tree will go with you today.
What a wonderful story, Rob. Thank you for doing that. Any other reflections that people would like to make about Bill? Well, I'm sure there's a lot more stories. We'll save those for another day. Okay, can I ask everyone to stand, please? We will proceed with the playing of taps. So the flag will raise, the flag will come to half-mast, taps will be played, and the Constitution will fire one volley from its cannon. Following the cannon volley, we've invited Commander John Benda to come and present the family with the flag that has been flown over the Constitution, as well as the shadow box with reflections about Bill's career. Thank you, Constitution. Commander John Benda. Can I ask Charlene and family to come forward?
Good morning, Michael, Bob, John, you can sit, John, Liza, Greg, Chris, Dave, Ethan, Maria, people that I know and work with well, people that I consider part of my greater Charlestown Navy Yard family. Thank you very much for letting me be here and represent the active uniformed service and all veterans in all of our services. Charlene, Spence family, my name is Commander Benda. I'm the 76th Commanding Officer of USS Constitution, also known as Old Ironsides, the oldest commissioned warship afloat in the world. We've been located here at the Charlestown Navy Yard since 1897 and been surviving with the support of the National Park Service since they took over this land in 1974. The 85 active duty sailors and I have a very special mission to protect this iconic symbol of our nation and our Navy. We do so in several different ways, keeping the ship in hope to over 500,000 people each and every year, something we do very well. But what people don't know is all the support that it takes behind the scenes to make sure that my sailors and my crew and I are prepared to do that job. And of course, I'm talking about the National Park Service and talking about people like Bill, who I know from what I've seen, I understand and appreciate everything that he does for us, but I don't think that the people that come to the ship do. But I want to make sure that that changes and that you know, that we know how much he's meant to us and how much he means to our mission. When Bob asked us to present a flag, of course, we said absolutely. And when he asked about a shadow box, at first I said, I'm not sure, I don't think we can do it. But I turned around and I asked the sailors, I need a shadow box for a United States Army veteran, and they said, we got it. And they put these boxes together in less than 24 hours. Some tokens of appreciation there, including some challenge coins for us, which is a sign from one organization or one officer to someone who is going above and beyond behind the scenes, as a small token of appreciation that has that there as well. And of course, the symbol of our nation, the American flag, which flown high above the main mast of USS Constitution this morning. On behalf of the President of the United States, on behalf of the United States Navy and a grateful nation, please accept this flag as a symbol of your loved ones' service to their country. Along with that, I'd like to read a certificate from the crew of USS Constitution. To all who shall see these presents, greetings. Know ye that reposing special trust and confidence in the patriotism of William Bill Spence of the National Park Service of Boston and the United States Army. I do hereby certify that this flag was flown on board USS Constitution, Old Ironsides, the oldest ship of the United States Navy, America's ship of state, and the oldest commissioned warship afloat, in fond memory of your loved one for his many years of service to the National Park Service, the Navy, the Army, and the nation. On this, the 27th day of May, in the year of our Lord, proudly signed by me, John Benda, 76th Commanding Officer, Constitution. Ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, guys.
This concludes our program for today, but we do invite everyone for breaking bread with us, sharing more stories, and getting to know Bill's family. Under the magnolia tree, a wonderful tree, is where we'd like to host a reception. So everyone, please enjoy yourselves. Thank you for being here today. Charlene and family, it is so wonderful to have you here, to meet you, to hear your stories, and to better understand Bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Godspeed. Thank you.